Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back. Welcome back. Man. Y'all, I know, things a little different. The setup is not the same. No, it is not. Because I have a special guest in the building with me today. My partner, my dog, my homie, my brother. The affable, the amazing, the Tony V.
Man, this is about goddamn done. Well, I've been waiting for this, man. I'm so excited.
My bad,
Thank you finally, man. No, man, it's all my bad for the delay. I've been watching from the sidelines. Proud as hell at my brother's progress, getting the message out there, speaking truths for those who may not have a voice to speak it themselves. So I'm glad to finally be a part of the on-screen, even if it is just a special. We will be seeing what comes out in these future projects.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah. So Tony is a writer for us. He does content creation. He's normally behind the camera, capturing everything. He helped capture The Revolution will be live streamed. I know you haven't seen it yet, but trust me, we're about to upload, and this thing is dope. He's a former airman, public affairs, got a lot of experience, and just like I said, one of my best friends. And it is dope to finally have my brother on camera with me. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. So me and you, have been actually pretty involved in some of this local activism. And with the march that just happened, I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on how you feel about watching the community come together.
Breathtaking. I don't want to come off corny by trying to use words that would seem kind of cliche. Like you would, they seemed like it felt like a movie. It felt
Right.
But the energies were so present. That the fog was cleared. That we all understood why we're making this long march. Some people may have had their own whatever agenda to show up. I'm not even nobody. Don't pay it no mind. What you need to remember is that what compelled these people to weather 90-degree temperatures.
Yes.
Face all,
Woo,
cameras
woo.
all in their face. With the COVID going on.
Yes. Yes. Don't forget, COVID is still running rampant.
Man, it meant everything, man. It showed the divinity within our beings to come together to overcome the systemic issues that have been plaguing our society.
There goes that writer in him. Them words, man, them $5 words. My brother be speaking that shit, and I appreciate it. And speaking, we, both of us, have actually been asked by some local activists around here to speak at the upcoming Juneteenth event. And let me tell you, I, for one, am honored. But how you feeling?
It's like I don't want to crush that butterfly. It feels like an honor to be able to step up to a platform and to, narrate the movement in a way that hones in on what's really needed in order to see progress, in order to see change within not just police interactions, but within the entire judicial systems. So, to see that, be a part of that, and to see the other like-minded activists coming together to try to figure this thing out, not just talk a good talk, but also, you got to strategize. People
Yes.
that to actually meet people and then to kind of try to break down their personality traits to see what they're really in, what do they get from getting behind this movement. I have to be honest with myself. Why am I doing this? Is it really am I attention seeking? Nah, man. It's when you wake up at night and all you can think about is that issue, that problem plaguing us, and it won't go away because people have become apathetic, have become numb to this, the programming that we
Yes.
received. In order to break out of that, rebellion, rioting, fires, those are inevitable, inevitable, and it's fucking property. Fuck Target, yo.
Hey.
Somebody died, bro. No, thousands of people have died at
To caveat on that,
Okay.
so there's a new report that 122 people have died in police custody since George Floyd's murder on May 22nd. Now, when we think about the fact that people are dying in police custody, that people are protesting police brutality, and we have a president who is basically emboldening this law and order bullshit, we can see that this isn't going to stop anytime soon. And it just begs the question, what do we need to do to kind of like move forward? Not necessarily stopping the protest, but like you were alluding to a conversation you had earlier at work, how it felt like you were just beating your head against the wall trying to explain to this person these issues deeper than surface level. So like, what do you think we have to do to reach these people?
You know, there's so many layers to answering that. You know,
that was a great question.
There's there's societal issues. There's, of course, racial issues, biological issues, psychological issues, geographic issues. You know what I'm saying? There's so many aspects to this that, you know, you get obfuscated to the wazoo. You know, so trying to understand, I think it's important to self-identify what your movement is about, and where you're coming from. It's so important to stay focused on what has gotten me to this point where I'm enraged, because you will end up blindly attacking anybody, maybe even misjudging somebody else's intentions, and then therefore ruining the chance of a potential ally.
Yes.
So, you know.
Yes. I'm sorry, do not mean to cut you off, but you saying that reminded me of this conversation I had earlier with a homeboy of mine who seemed at first to just be upset that, you know, these companies are, you know, finally making these changes. It seems like when these moves and these changes and progression starts to happen, we can't allow ourselves to alienate them because we're pissed that they've been profiting off of us for so long. Like, yeah, they were wrong then, but we can't move forward if we keep holding on to what we're angry about. You know, the changes are being made. I know some of these things seem like symbolic, you know, or seem like they're not really helping, but it's the climate that we're in that we have to understand. This is a living revolution that we are actually witnessing right now. Like, we are living in it. And we have to really, really be cognizant of the fact that people are really on our side right now. And we have to use that to just the most that we can right now. So just not alienating people, not creating more enemies, and accepting allies. Just because you were late to the cookout don't mean you can't get a plate now. You know what I'm saying? Like we have got to be better, but that doesn't mean we have to forgive everything. Because as we were saying earlier when we were talking, this is the 2-year anniversary of the day that fuckboy Dylan Roof decided to go into a Charleston church and slaughter 9 people who were innocently praying. So for one, I want to give a special RIP and let everybody else out here know that we feel that, and that's just a senseless murder that should have never ever fucking happened. And for two, the way that Dylan Roof was taken away versus the way that black people are being slayed in the streets by the same police officers sworn to protect and serve is a gross, gross, gross example of the injustices that we continue to fucking fight day in and day out. So if you guys don't understand it when we're saying it in conversation, you don't understand it when you see it in video, I think the reason I asked you is because I'm almost at a point where I just don't truthfully believe some people can get it, because I just don't think they want to get it.
Yeah.
You agree?
Well, if they can't, then you can't really. If something's outside of the locus of their understanding, I mean, if it's outside of the peripheral of their conscious experience, then it won't even register. You know, so of course not. Ignorance is bliss, because, you know, they can't be hurt by something that doesn't interact with their universe. So, you know, I understand the mechanism behind the bias. You know, they're, again, structural, like geographical, depending on where you're at. When I went to tech school at Fort George Meade, Maryland, for public affairs, photography, and journalism, DINFOs. This is where I graduated basic training and went to tech school to learn how to become a journalist. And I met an incredible young man named Benjamin Stratton, who was from the Upers of Michigan, and you know, basic training was the first time he ever actually met a real black person in person. The only time he ever seen a black person was on TV because of how isolated his town was. And so he had a lot of preconceived notions of what black people were about, you know, just because of how we're portrayed. And, you know, either way, we ended up becoming incredibly good friends, you know, brothers in arms.
Okay.
And, you know,
I like that. It's dope.
you know, yeah. So I think that it's important for us to realize that if all life is sacred and black lives are sacred, so are white lives.
I agree. I cannot find fault or flaw in that logic. But I want to say this because I don't see enough people saying this. All lives can't matter till black lives matter, and black lives can't matter till black women's lives matter.
Thank you.
Because
double.
Yes. We spend so much time trying to analyze why black men are constantly under attack and completely negate the fact that black women are under twice as many, you know what I'm saying, attacks based off of the things that they're going through. And then the fact that they have to just shoulder on, you know, they got to just soldier it up. They got to just be strong. And then when we see a strong black woman, then we try to tear her down because she's too strong. Oh, she too independent. Oh, she don't need something. So we consistently create these double standards and contradictions when what we really need to do is stand up and protect our queens.
Thank you.
So,
okay.
You know, it's mind-boggling, the stories that I'm seeing of the way that, you know, men are leaving Black Lives Matter movement rallies and then like sexually abusing black women or beating black women, and it's just like, what are you at the cause for? Like, what are you at this movement for? You know,
that's
like
exactly what I'm talking about, and it goes even beyond that. It goes to the psychological abuse as well. You know, you know, stop. Look, I get looked at funny because, you know, I ain't out here chasing bitches.
Right.
You know, like they, you know, I want interactions with my queens, man, and I'm gonna treat you regardless if you see yourself like that or not. Why? Because I'm not gonna continue that to perpetuate that cycle. You know what I mean? Whether or not, the more you get told you're not a bitch, the more likely you're gonna be shaking your ass, you know, saying I'm a bitch in the club. Even to try to call feminism ism. Right. No, they're like human beings. Like there's man and then there's woman. No, they're human just like a man is. So I you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I feel like there has to be another cultural shift that is recognizing woman as half of our, you know, mankind. I don't want to call it half. You know what I'm saying?
For lack of better words, the better half. Yeah. Man. When we look at how many black women have led these revolutions behind the scenes, crazy. Or you know, we look at how many black women have been organizers, like, but they don't get the recognition, and that's something that we, as black men who are conscious of that and aware of that fact, that we have to bring more attention to black women, and not just black women in general, but black women's accomplishments, you know, black women's achievements, and then just the beauty, the aura, the sensation that you get when you see a beautiful melanated goddess queen. Like when we understand that she is more than what we see, it's deeper than that, but we can still appreciate that. Then I feel like we can start strengthening this community. And by strengthening the community,
if it wasn't for, you know, honestly, women are the biggest music, you know, saying pushers of what's popping on the radio. You know, they're one of the biggest outputs in as far as voting in politics.
Okay.
They've got one of the, you know, more powerful effects on, you know, the livelihood of our society that we give credence to.
And the fastest growing demographic of college graduates. And that is not just in certain isolated areas. I can pinpoint that here in my own city, that the majority of graduates around here are African American, and
There you go.
they are female.
There you go.
That's not to say that not a lot of people are graduating. I'm not saying it that way, but I'm saying the number one demographic of people graduating in my city, and then that's a microcosm, but it's even indicative of what's happening in society, that women or black women are the fastest growing demographic of college graduates. So
and then still having to defend themselves not as a black person, but as a woman.
there we go. See, we're not going to try to mansplain intersectional feminism, but what we are going to let you know is that if you go check out Dr. Kimberly Bradshaw, then you yourself can figure it out.
There you go. There you go.
Actually, I think it's Kimberly Crenshaw. I apologize. But regardless of the fact, please go check her out. She's got a lot of good TED Talks. She's got a lot of good articles, a lot of papers, and it really explains the intersections of what people have to go with when they have different socioeconomic, identifiers, such as being black, being woman, or being black, being gay, being woman, being black, being gay, being trans, being woman. You have to deal with so many different situations and issues that arise, and you have to find which cause that you have to fight for, because there isn't one that's just fighting for you, and that is the issue. So therefore, that is something that we need to continue to bring light to. But before we can do that, we need to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Yo, welcome back. Part dosing is my, you dig? Me and my dog, Tony B. Tone, tell him. It is an honor to have my brother up in here with me. And so if y'all ever caught the first interview that we did with the Uno, we kind of talked a little life, talked a little social events, talked, introspection and stuff like that. And then we hopped to the hip hop. You dig it? So you already know it is not controversial conversation. If we don't talk a little hippity hip hop, Sugar Hill Gang reference, you dig it, little nigga? So, Tone, I know you as a fellow hip hop head is really, really grateful that we are living in a climate where literally so many rappers are dropping just amazing music. It's like a resurgence of the golden era or a renaissance period, as Brandon would say. So, not necessarily who new are you listening to, but who do you just really jam, dog? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you just gotta get there, who is it for you?
Oh man, that's kind of wide open. Jamming, just to feel the good vibe. I like Chance the Rapper, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Chance give me a good spiritual feeling.
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying? Clutch is always gonna be the Yeezy. I ain't gonna lie that ever since College Dropout, I ain't stopped listening.
Yeezy. Yeezy. I feel you.
He may do his crazy shit, man. But
he definitely do.
Good Fridays was great. But
I like that.
But shoot, man. I like J.I.D. I like Boogie, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I like Chris Webby, you put me on.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Webby.
White boy got skills, man. He's speaking truth to power, dog.
Bars. Oh, okay. I'm glad you brought him up.
Yes.
So, there's something that I've been pondering. Should we hold white rappers who profit off of the culture to a standard to speak out on social issues? And if they don't, should we have the ability to cancel them?
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Without hesitation.
Hey, I ain't say it.
Listen, if you're...
I don't deny it, but I ain't say it.
I mean, it's like coming into boxing and say, hey, I don't want to bob and weave in the ring. Nah, this ring, this arena, UFC, fucking boxing, you know what I'm saying? Like, this arena of hip-hop, when you're on the microphone, you're emceeing. That means you're a mover of the crowd. You speak to the crowd. And if you're not speaking to your audience in their best interests, and you're just, fucking making music that is volatile, is nasty, just because you know it's going to sell, it's irresponsible. It's and I just can't jive with, these mantras that they almost trying to put you under. Molly Pop Percocet, you know, some demonic shit. You know, I love Lil Wayne, but some of his shit was demonic as fuck.
So,
you know what I mean?
So it seems not necessarily white rappers need to speak out about social things. You would prefer that just anybody who's going to have a platform and rap use it for the audience's best interest rather than trying to commodify or commercialize a sound and things like that. I can appreciate that.
I'm glad you reeled me in there. Yeah, to on the specific topic on the white rappers profiting, you know, appropriately off of a culture that is inherently founded in African American culture and black culture.
Black
you
my
know,
pride.
Who wouldn't have this platform if it were not for the, you know, the underground Sugar Hill Gang,
the pioneers,
you know what I'm saying? Where hip hop was rooted in rhythm and rhyme, and speaking to the soul of a listener rather than trying to engineer and formulate some type of musical product that you can slap together with other formulaic.
Say that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love music that is organic, that is fresh, that I ain't heard before, that in a way that, you know, it's always great to pay homage. You have to acknowledge those who paved the way in order for you to have that platform. Unfortunately, it feels like you get to pick and choose, you know what I'm saying, when it's appropriate for you to speak on these, you know. That's why I appreciate, I hate to even sidebar it, but Dave Chappelle's 846. Oh my God, you know.
It's not even really a sidebar because he really spoke, as he said, you know, to the streets, but he understood the streets are gonna take care of the streets. And I get that. I appreciate that. And speaking of that, great segue. If y'all have not caught Dave Chappelle's 846, one, the hell is wrong with you? Like,
man.
Two, please go check this out to get a thorough understanding of what is going on right now from one of the greatest speakers that we've ever been blessed to have. Like, Dave Chappelle has really transformed himself from that young, you know, Def Jam poetry guy to the one who was doing Killing Me Softly to really a great voice of reason. A rhetoric so profound that it allows us to truthfully understand shit's fucked up.
And believe.
But we can laugh, though. And that laughter is something that is very, very, very necessary in these times right now because, to be honest with you, I ain't laughed that much lately, y'all. I really fucking haven't. And I know it's a little different than, you know, normally talking about the hip-hop, but I just, you know, being reminded of something so profound and so powerful that Chappelle had dropped, it just made me realize, like, yeah, you know, we do need that.
It's analogous. You know, I mean, hip-hop is the verbal analogy of life, you know, from
it's a culture.
A melanated perspective, most of, you know, overall, but, you know, again, it incorporates everybody because, again, hip-hop is global now, you know. Japan is just as a part of the evolution of hip-hop, you know, as other regions outside of, you know.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. So, you know, I love battle rap and stuff like that. So I'll watch, I think there's this it was a company called Base Mentality, and I think they were like out of Norway or something. And then there's this Don't Flop out of England, and you got you know King of the Dot out of Canada. So when you look at it, it's like, bro, this is a literal global phenomenon.
So can you get mad at white culture for wanting to be a part of it?
Not even mad at all. Right. But like I said, though, if you're not going to speak up,
acknowledge.
You got to either pay homage to the ones who have come before you, or you have to at least speak out about the ones that you're catering to. Like, it doesn't make sense for somebody like Post Malone to literally use a wave to come in just because he wants to be a certain type of artist later. It's not cool for Miley Cyrus to just use hip-hop as a vehicle because she's going through a crisis and she doesn't know who she is as a fucking artist. You can't keep doing that as a white artist, come into the black culture, not speak on anything, not contribute a damn thing, profit off of it, and then walk out calling it crap as you do. Both of them were really, really adamant about the fact that they didn't really think hip hop had much to offer. Except it really saved their careers because I don't see White Iverson anymore. I see a fake ass goddamn Hank looking motherfucker. So stop it, bro. Like, I don't care what y'all got to say. Post is cultural appropriation. He is. He is the walking embodiment of cultural appropriation.
Post Reconstruction.
Fuck it. So, but yeah, but you're right. Chappelle and this global effect, it is all synonymous with hip hop because I tend to forget hip hop is more than just rap. You know, the are the 5 pillars, and he would fall under that knowledge pillar because he dropped knowledge bombs. You know what I'm saying?
Every time.
And to just really think about the significance of the number 846 now. Like, it's always gonna make you feel a certain way if you ever see it on a clock. You know what I'm saying? If you hear somebody say it, the number, hell, if you even see the lottery 846, you go, man, nah, I don't even want that. Y'all keep that bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like this is a moment in time now that is solidified and cemented
in our mass consciousness.
Yes.
We're all connected, man.
We are.
Whether we see it on TV or not, whether we see it on our cell phone screens or not, we're all connected.
That we are.
We're just now seeing it. Live stream.
Yeah, man. Like Will Smith said, you know, racism isn't happening, it's being recorded.
That's
it
right.
didn't just start happening. Like,
That's right.
Like, it's been a good 401 years now since that first slave ship hit 1619. So when we think about everything that's happened since then and the fact that now we're making a movement, I don't care what nobody says. They think we're moving too fast. Nigga, it's been time.
It's overdue.
It's overdue. These books are overdue, nigga. Pay them fines. We call those reparations.
It's black skin to 11.
So, we're going to go ahead and end it in a minute, but I don't know. It feels good having my dog on here with me, having somebody that I can really just bounce these things off with. We've been thinking about doing this little duo podcast thing, so y'all be on the lookout for that. You know, Controversial Conversation is still going to drop. And after this Juneteenth event, and I have a chance to really just sit back and formulate some segments, I promise I'm coming back more with that weekly show for y'all. We're going to keep doing firesides. We're going to have a good-ass time. I got some more interviews locked up, and my boys over here working on some stuff.
Get excited.
You know what I'm saying? Open Minded Productions is here, y'all.
No, you won't.
Yeah,
they won't see it coming.
Nah, man. They won't. They won't. So, as always, go ahead and let them know.
All right, Tone Bone gonna tell them. All right, check out the future podcast coming.
Yes, sir.
You know, the Open-Minded Skeptic. We're reaching for higher level shit. So, you know, make sure that you pause, go, you know, have a dictionary, have your site, you know what I'm saying, Google right there. Just keep up with us. You know what I'm saying? Because I promise you're going to enjoy, not only will you enjoy the ride, when we arrive, we will ascend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you already know, man. It's your boy Jokes the Baby. As always, y'all be good and y'all be great.